Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it if you have come back from my previous video, or if you're new to the channel, then welcome. If you kind of want to have an idea of what I intend to do with the channel, then please go back and watch my previous video before you watch this one. Or, either or, it's up to yourself. If you want to watch this one first, then go back and watch it, then by all means, please do. I would really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a subscribe or a comment or whatever it is. Please feel free to do that, and I would really appreciate it. But today I just kind of wanted to sit down to talk about a documentary that I watched a few months ago during lockdown, and I watched it again last night, and I think it has such an important message. So the documentary was done by Roman Kemp, who had a friend that committed suicide in lockdown last year, and he went on this journey to make this documentary to find out more about men's mental health and why they struggle the way they do. So in this documentary, he meets up with quite a few guys from a few different places. So there was a group of guys from Belfast whose friend committed suicide, and it's quite emotional to watch because it shows the impact that has on other people. And he meets up with another guy that tried to commit suicide a few years ago. He meets up with mental health experts, people who have mental health charities and everything. So if that is something that you think you might be interested in, it's on BBC iPlayer, and I definitely recommend that you all watch it because it is really, really powerful. So last night, whenever I watched this documentary again, I made some notes about some statistics that surrounds men's mental health. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So yeah, the first one is that 3/4 of men feel unable to confide in those close to them about their problems. And that in itself is such a problem because society has taught men that they can't talk about their problems, they can't talk about their feelings, they can't talk about their emotions. And it's that whole toxic masculinity that is the issue, because then it makes men feel like they cannot talk and they bottle everything up, and eventually mentally it affects them, and they need to be able to open up and talk about their problems, to talk about why they're feeling sad or if they're struggling. And it's such an important thing to remember that for men it is okay for you to talk. So there was also a bit in the documentary where Roman met up with his friends, and they talked about the last time that they met up with Joe. So they met up with him whenever restrictions eased of lockdown, and they met up, went and played football and stuff, and they were able to sit and talk and say that there was absolutely no signs at all that he was struggling mentally, because he was just a happy-go-lucky person. He was so happy and so positive. And I think that's such an important thing to remember, that people don't show if they're struggling. Not everybody can ask for help, and not a lot of people can feel open to talking about their emotions, especially men, because of toxic masculinity. And I think it's just really important to remember that you just really need to be kind to people, because you don't know what anybody's going through. Like, you could literally go into town and you could walk past somebody, or you can go into work and serve somebody who is trying their best not to fall apart. And I know it's really hard whenever you get a Karen customer, and I just think it's super important for you to be kind to everybody and anybody, because you have no idea how people are feeling or how people are struggling with things in their life. Roman also states that small things can make such a difference in people's lives, and that could literally just mean lending an ear and listening to someone. You can be a shoulder to cry on. You can pick up your phone and ask if someone is okay. And which leads me on to my next point. So he met up with a group of guys whose friend committed suicide, and they made this rule, and it's called the 2 OK rule. Which I think is actually a really good idea, because basically it's asking somebody twice if they are okay. And that can be such a powerful thing, because if somebody asks you, are you okay? It's so easy for you to turn around and be like, yeah, I'm okay. But like for somebody to ask a second time, no wait, are you doing okay? That could be that could make such a difference to that person's day, because they could be struggling, they could literally be trying their best not to fall apart, and that second, no, are you okay, can make such a difference to their lives, because they might feel comfortable enough to talk to you. They might feel better because they're actually talking to somebody who can help. So Martin Kemp is also in this documentary, and he had a family dinner, and the whole family was sitting around, and they were able to talk about mental health, and it came up about Martin's mental health, and he went through a while of depression, and he described this as being in a bubble where the world was going by, but he could not burst that bubble that he was in. And it was like everything was just going and moving along, and he wasn't. And I think that is such an important way of describing it, because everybody has their own ways of describing things, and everybody has their own way of handling things. And people have different experiences of depression, and that is just one way that people might relate to. And Roman then goes on to say that for him, for his mental health, he takes medication for it. He takes sertraline, and he has done since he was 15. And for his dad, it was therapy that helped him. So it is also really, really important to remember that it's not just one right way of dealing with it, because for him it was medication, for his dad it was therapy, and for you it might be something completely different. So it is just really, really important to remember that people deal with things in their own way, and people deal with mental health in their own way. But it's just, you need to remember that it is okay to talk, and it is okay to reach out for help whenever you need to. I just wanted to end the video to say that I really do hope that you're doing okay, and if you are, then that's great, and if not, then please, please, please reach out to somebody and talk about how you're feeling, talking about what you're struggling about, because not enough people do. And I also just want to add that no matter how you're feeling, you're never, ever, ever alone. And there is always going to be help out there, because whether it be a teacher, a friend, a stranger on the street, like out of billions of people in this world, I can guarantee you that there is somebody out there who feels the same way that you do. And you're not the only one struggling. And there is always, always, always help out there. I just want to say that no matter what your mind is telling you, that you're loved, and you matter, and you belong here. And I also think as well, like I made this note and I just want to add it in, that I think that we as humans often forget the power that we have to make a difference, because literally the smallest thing, making somebody laugh, making somebody smile, or anything like that, or asking, are you okay, or being there for a shoulder to cry on, or lending an ear for somebody to talk, like just little things like that is so powerful, like to anybody's life. So guys, that's the end of the video. I feel like I got really deep, so I'm going to try to bring it back up. But yeah, I really appreciate if you stuck around until the end of the video. I really, really hope that you got something from it. If not, then go and check out the documentary, because I definitely, definitely recommend that you do it. I would really appreciate it as well if you give this video a thumbs up, if you give it a subscribe, a comment down below. I will also leave my Instagram handles down below as well, so please feel free to go over and follow me over there. So yeah guys, hope you stick around, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye! Why do I never know how to end a video?